Okay, so the wiring just ran a 30 amp fuse directly to the battery block, and then obviously just ran the wiring up and around and kept it in this little plastic I don't know if it's a wound protector. There's a small grommet right there. Harbor Freight sells a pack of grommets, so I pulled out the grommet that was in there. I probably could have just drilled it out, but I took the grommet out and replaced it with the Harbor Freight grommet, and then just slid this in, and then I'll come around to the show you the inside here. Turn the lights on. All right. So in here, I want to show you what I did. These little connectors, I taped over them, but these are actually little connectors that you can use as like wire splitters. They just kind of go over the wire and crimp, and then you take another wire as a T and go into it. I'll leave a link in the description on Amazon. They're really easy. And then I just taped over it to make sure they don't go anywhere. And then the wire that I ran into the car is actually right here. And this wire loom came down. I think I'm using the right term. But anyway, this runs down. And then easy enough, I unsnapped this panel. Got it greasy, as you can tell. And then that ran through underneath here. It's real straightforward. Came in and around through here. You could just kind of run it directly through. And then down here, up here, I just pulled this out, and then behind the seat, this actually just pops off. And then once this pops off, you can pop this out and this out. And the wires actually ran behind. I don't know if you can see them in there. Let me see if I can get a good angle. But the wires are actually down in there. And then they ran under the truck. And then along the frame there, you can see the same wiring. Okay, so the wires come up here, and then same thing, drilled out a hole, used the little Harbor Freight grommet, and ran the wires in here, and this is just a separate ground wire. Drilled that to the frame to create a different wire. Now, here's what I want to show you. All of these are actually two different relays, and I want to show you the wiring on this. Underneath the dash, you'll see like a blue and violet wire. They're the 65 and 66 pins on the BCM. So you'll see that when you look again underneath the steering column. Wired back those to the relays that I purchased on Amazon, and now I'll get into detail on the hooking them up to the actuator itself. So the wiring on these is a little funky because the blue and violet wire, which run to the back of the truck, one of them, when you hit the lock button, will be powered. The other will be then a ground. And then when you hit unlock, it switches. One of them, that same one that was powered, becomes a ground, and the other one becomes a power. So it's a little funky. So in any event, you run those wires at the back of the truck, and those are connected to the relays. So they're sitting together basically in my truck, and you'll see that. But one of the white wires from one relay and a black wire from the other relay, each one of those is connected to the blue wire. One of them is connected to the violet wire. That's going to be the input from the switch. The yellow wire is connected to the fuse 12 volts. So the three wires are bound together. And then for the ground, you take the opposing white and black wire that's remaining, because remember we used one from each for the switch, or the from the lock and unlock button, and you put the other white and black wire together with the red wires, and you ground them all. So the four wires are bound together and then grounded. And then finally the blue wires coming off, which are number 30 on the relay, those are one of each is placed onto the actuator, and then you would test it by hitting the lock and unlock button. And if it's doing the opposite of what you need it to do, then you just flip them and it'll go the opposite way. But that's how you hook up the actuator, using those switches and having it reverse the polarity. This is the way I did it. I actually had to reopen this because I broke a piece of plastic and had to cut this open to fix it. But I drilled a hole originally here, realized that's not going to work, moved it back here, and then just used a wire hanger and bent it over. Okay, so plastic window covered over duct tape, just so I can kind of see what's going on. And then of course the most important thing is from getting any type of water or anything to the relays. So you can tell, you hit the button, unlock, or excuse me, lock, unlock. Yeah, pretty cool.